The massive ship drifted through space like a metal mountain. Inside its dark halls, Admiral Kethvar stood before a wall of glowing screens. Each screen showed a different world. Each world was now his. 164 victories, he said to himself. His voice was deep and cold. Not one defeat. The alien looked nothing like a human. His skin was gray like stone. His eyes were black holes that seemed to swallow light. Sharp teeth filled his mouth when he smiled, and Kethvar was smiling now. On the screens, cities burned. Ships exploded in silent flashes. People ran and screamed, but no sound reached the cold metal halls of his flagship. The Vorthak Empire had crushed them all. The weak races of the galaxy fell before their power like grass before fire. "Sir," came a voice behind him. Fleet Commander Zethmore walked up to his leader. His uniform was covered in medals from their victories. "The scouts have found another world," Kethvar turned. His black eyes gleamed. "Show me." The screen changed. A blue and green world appeared. White clouds swirled around it. A yellow star gave it light and warmth. It looked peaceful. "It looked weak. They call it Earth," Zethmore said. "The creatures there call themselves humans. Our scouts watched them for 3 days. They are nothing special." "Tell me about their weapons," Kethvar said. "Primitive," Zethmore laughed. "They still use chemical rockets to reach space. Their weapons shoot metal bullets. Some have nuclear bombs, but they are small and weak. Their ships are made of simple metal. No energy shields. No plasma weapons. They will fall in hours." Kethvar nodded. Every race said the same thing before they died. They all thought they were strong. They all learned they were wrong. Far across space, on a metal station orbiting Earth's moon, Lieutenant Commander Hana sat at her desk. Numbers and signals filled her computer screen. Most nights, space was quiet. Tonight was different. Strange signals came from the edge of the solar system. The computer could not understand them. They were not human signals. They were not from any human ship or station. Hana had worked at Luna Station for 5 years. She knew every human ship in space. She knew every signal they sent. These signals were something else. Something new. Her fingers moved fast over the keyboard. She tried to decode the strange messages. Slowly, words began to appear on her screen. But they were not human words. Conquest 165. Energy weapons ready. Resistance minimal. Her blood turned cold. Hana grabbed her communication device and called Earth Defense Command. "This is Luna Station," she said. "I need to speak with Admiral Minho right away." "The Admiral is in a meeting," came the reply. "Can this wait?" "No," Hana said. "We have a problem. A big problem." Near Jupiter, Captain Jinwoo was having a normal day. His patrol ship moved slowly through space, checking for asteroids or broken satellites. His crew was relaxed. Space patrol was usually boring work. "Captain," his sensor officer called out. "I'm getting strange readings from the outer system." Jinwoo walked over to look at the screen. Large objects were moving near Neptune. "Very large objects, how big?" he asked. "Each one is at least 1 kilometer long," the officer said. "And there are many of them. I count at least 50, but more keep appearing." Jinwoo felt his stomach drop. Humans had no ships that large. No human ship was even close to that size. "Send a message to Earth Command," he ordered. "Tell them we have unknown contacts approaching the solar system." Large unknown contacts. As his crew sent the message, more objects appeared on their sensors, then more. Soon the screen was full of red dots, all moving toward Earth. On the Vorthak flagship, Zethmore prepared his fleet for battle. 200 ships formed perfect lines in space. Each ship carried enough firepower to destroy a city. Together they could burn entire worlds. "This will be easy," he told his officers. "The humans have no real weapons. No real ships. We will demand their surrender first, as always. When they refuse, we will show them the power of the Vorthak Empire." The officers nodded and smiled. They had heard this speech many times before. Every weak race refused to surrender at first. Then the killing began, then they begged for mercy, but it was always too late. Zethmore looked at the image of Earth on his screen. Such a pretty world. Soon it would belong to the Empire. The humans would work in their mines and factories. The strong ones would become soldiers. The weak ones would die. "Begin the approach," he ordered. Back on Luna Station, Hana was getting desperate. She had been trying to reach Earth Command for an hour. Every time they put her on hold or transferred her to someone else. No one wanted to listen to her warning. Finally, Admiral Minho himself answered her call. His face appeared on her screen. He looked tired and annoyed. "Lieutenant Commander Hana," he said. I hear you have an urgent report. Yes, sir, she said quickly. I've intercepted alien communications. Unknown ships are approaching our solar system. I think we're about to be attacked. Admiral Minho rubbed his forehead. Alien communications? Are you sure these aren't just signals from our deep space probes? Sir, I've analyzed the signals. They're definitely not human. And Captain Jinwoo's patrol has confirmed large objects moving near Neptune. The Admiral's expression changed. He was no longer annoyed. Now he looked worried. How many objects? He asked. At least 200, sir. Each one is huge. Admiral Minho was quiet for a long moment. Then he spoke in a calm, steady voice. Send all data to Earth Defense Command immediately. I'm calling an emergency meeting of all fleet commanders. And Hana? Yes, sir. Good work. If you're right about this, you may have just saved humanity. As Hana sent her data to Earth, she looked out the window of Luna Station. Space looked the same as always, black and empty and peaceful. But somewhere out there, death was coming. The Vorthak fleet moved closer to Earth with each passing hour. Soon they would demand humanity's surrender. Soon they would begin their 165th conquest. But Admiral Kethvar had made one mistake. He had never fought humans before. He did not know what they were capable of when their backs were against the wall. He was about to learn that some races do not go quietly into the dark. Earth was about to show the Vorthak Empire what happened when you picked a fight with the wrong species. Admiral Minho stood in the command center of Earth Defense Headquarters. Red lights flashed on every wall. Alarms had been ringing for the past hour. The largest screen showed a map of the solar system with 200 red dots moving toward Earth. Status report, he called out. All orbital defense. Platforms are online, reported Colonel Su-young from her station. All fleet units are moving to defensive positions. Evacuation of non-essential personnel from Luna Station is complete. Minho nodded. He had been preparing for this day his whole life, even though he never really believed it would come. Humanity had always wondered if they were alone in the universe. Now they had their answer. The main communication screen lit up. A face appeared that made everyone in the room step back. Gray skin stretched over sharp bones, black eyes that seemed to hold no warmth. When it spoke, its voice was like grinding metal. Primitive creatures of the third planet, the alien said. I am Fleet Commander Zethmore of the Vorthak Empire. Your world has been selected for conquest. You have one of your hours to surrender completely. Lay down all weapons. Prepare your population for transport to work camps. Resist and your entire species will be destroyed. The screen showed images of other worlds, cities in flames, ships torn apart in space, millions of dead bodies floating in empty streets. We have conquered 164 worlds, Zethmore continued. Your technology is primitive. Your weapons are weak. Surrender now and some of you may live to serve the Empire. The transmission ended. The command center was silent for a moment. Well, Admiral Minho said quietly, I guess that answers the question about their intentions. He turned to face his officers. Send a reply. Tell them that humanity respectfully declines their generous offer. Sir? Asked Colonel Su-young. What exactly should I tell them? Minho smiled grimly. Tell them to go to hell. On the Vorthak flagship, Zethmore received humanity's response. He laughed when he heard it. Every primitive race said something similar. They always thought they could fight back. They were always wrong. Typical, he said to his officers. They choose death over slavery. Very well, begin the attack. Target their orbital installations first. Show them what real weapons can do. In the asteroid belt hidden among the floating rocks, Colonel Su-young watched her screens from inside Aegis Prime. The secret defense platform had been built over the past 10 years. It was humanity's newest and most powerful weapon. Dr. Woo-sung, her chief engineer, checked the platform systems one more time. All weapons are ready, he reported. The kinetic kill vehicles are loaded and targeted. Railgun batteries are charged to full power. How sure are we that these will work? Su-young asked. Woo-sung shrugged. The math says they should work. But we've never tested them against alien shields. Well, Su-young said, we're about to find out. Captain Jinwoo's patrol squadron was the first to engage the enemy. His 5 small ships were no match for the Vorthak scouts, but he had his orders. Gather intelligence. Learn about their weapons and defenses. Send the data back to Earth. All ships attack formation, he ordered. Remember, we're not trying to win this fight. We're trying to learn from it. His ships fired their missiles at the alien scouts. The missiles were fast, but the alien ships were faster. Beams of blue light shot out from the enemy vessels. The missiles exploded long before they reached their targets. Their point defense is too good, his weapons officer reported. Missiles won't work. Try the railguns, Jinwoo ordered. The railguns fired metal slugs at tremendous speed. To Jinwoo's surprise, some of them got through. They struck the alien shields and made them flicker. Interesting, he said. Send that data to Earth Command. Physical projectiles work better than energy weapons. The alien scouts returned fire. Plasma bolts tore through space toward Jinwoo's ships. His squadron had no shields strong enough to stop them. One by one, his ships exploded in bright flashes. As his own ship began to burn around him, Jinwoo kept transmitting data back to Earth. Information about alien weapon frequencies. Details about their shield technology. Everything that might help humanity survive. This is Captain Jinwoo, he said into his radio as flames filled his bridge. Enemy shields are vulnerable to kinetic weapons. Their plasma weapons have a charge cycle of 3 seconds. Use hit-and-run tactics. Don't try to match their firepower. His ship exploded a moment later, but his message reached Earth. The Vorthak fleet moved past the wreckage of Jinwoo's squadron without slowing down. Zethmore barely noticed the small battle. 5 primitive ships destroyed in minutes. Exactly what he expected. Sir, his sensor officer reported, we're detecting energy signatures from the inner system. The humans appear to have orbital defense platforms. How many? Zethmore asked. 12 major installations. Each one appears to be heavily armed. Zethmore smiled. 12 platforms against 200 ships? This will be over quickly. All ships target the orbital defenses. Destroy them completely. The Vorthak fleet spread out as it approached Earth's defenses. Each ship charged its plasma cannons. They had used the same tactic on every world they conquered. Overwhelming firepower applied quickly and without mercy. But as they came within range, something unexpected happened. From hidden positions throughout the solar system, Earth's orbital defense platforms opened fire. But these were not the energy weapons the Vorthak expected. Instead, streams of metal projectiles shot toward the alien fleet at incredible speeds. The tungsten rods were only a few feet long, but they were moving at a significant fraction of light speed. When they hit the Vorthak shields, the shields failed instantly. The rods punched through alien hulls like bullets through paper. 3 Vorthak ships exploded in the first volley. What just happened? Zethmore demanded. Unknown weapon type, his tactical officer reported. Physical projectiles, but moving much faster than should be possible. Our shields were designed to stop plasma and energy weapons, not solid matter at these speeds. Zethmore felt a chill run down his spine. In 164 conquests, no enemy had ever surprised him like this. Return fire, he ordered. Destroy those platforms immediately. The Vorthak ships fired their plasma cannons at Earth's orbital defenses. Several platforms exploded under the assault, but the humans had prepared for this. From her hidden position in the asteroids, Colonel Soo-young watched the battle begin. Aegis Prime was too far away to help Earth's orbital platforms, but she had other targets in mind. Dr. Woo-sung, she said, launch the kinetic kill vehicles. Target the largest enemy ships. Launching now, Woo-sung replied. From secret positions throughout the asteroid belt, dozens of small but deadly projectiles shot toward the Vorthak fleet. Each one was guided by advanced computers and powered by fusion engines. They were invisible to most sensors until it was too late. The first kinetic kill vehicle struck a Vorthak heavy cruiser in the engine section. The ship broke in half and exploded. The second vehicle hit a troop transport, killing thousands of alien soldiers. The third destroyed a command ship. Admiral Minho watched the battle from Earth Defense Command. The tactical display showed red dots disappearing one by one as Earth's weapons found their targets. How many have we killed? He asked. 15 ships destroyed, his tactical officer reported. 20 more damaged. But we've lost half our orbital platforms, and they still have over 150 ships left, Minho said grimly. This is just the beginning. On the Vorthak flagship, Zethmore stared at his tactical display in disbelief. 15 ships destroyed in the opening minutes of battle. It was the worst loss his fleet had ever suffered. Sir, his communications officer said, Admiral Kethvar is requesting a status report. Zethmore hesitated. How could he explain this to his superior? How could he admit that primitive humans had killed 15 of his ships? Tell the Admiral that we have encountered unexpected resistance, he said finally. But the situation is under control. It was a lie, and he knew it. For the first time in his career, Zethmore was beginning to wonder if this conquest would be as easy as he had thought. The battle for Earth had begun, and already the Vorthak Empire was learning that humans were not like any enemy they had faced before. Lieutenant Hyunwoo crouched in the cramped bridge of the stealth frigate Silent Hunter. His ship was small and fast, built for missions that bigger ships could not handle. Around him, his crew worked quietly, their voices barely above whispers. "Enemy formation is holding steady," his sensor officer reported. "They're moving toward Earth in 3 main groups." "Perfect," Hyunwoo said. "That's exactly what we want them to do." The Vorthak fleet thought they were being smart by splitting their forces. They wanted to attack Earth from multiple directions at once, but they did not understand how humans fought. They had never faced an enemy that used the battlefield itself as a weapon. "Signal the debris field," Hyunwoo ordered. "Tell them to activate on my mark." For months, human engineers had been placing small devices throughout the solar system. They looked like broken satellites or pieces of space junk. The Vorthak sensors ignored them completely. That was their first mistake. "Mark," Hyunwoo said quietly. All around the Vorthak fleet, the fake debris came to life. What the aliens thought was harmless junk was actually a network of mines, sensors, and tiny missile launchers. Explosions bloomed throughout their formation like deadly flowers. 6 Vorthak ships died in the first few seconds. Others took damage to their engines and weapons. The perfect alien formation became a scattered mess of confused ships. "Phase 2, Hyunwoo said. "All hunter squadrons, begin your attacks." From hidden positions throughout the asteroid belt, 50 small human ships emerged. They were not built to fight the aliens head-on. Instead, they darted in and out of the Vorthak formation like angry wasps. They fired their weapons and disappeared before the aliens could respond. Dr. Yujin watched the battle from her laboratory on Mars. She was not a soldier, but her work was just as important as any weapon. For years, she had been studying the theoretical physics of gravity and space-time. Now her theories were about to become reality. "Gravity well generators are online," she reported to Earth Command. "Ready to activate on your order." "Do it," came Admiral Minho's voice over the radio. Yujin pressed a button on her control panel. All around the solar system, hidden devices began to bend space itself. The Vorthak ships suddenly found themselves pulled in different directions by artificial gravity fields. "What is happening to our ships?" Zethmore demanded from his flagship. "Unknown, sir," his navigator replied. "Our engines are fighting against some kind of gravitational force. It's like space itself is working against us." This was something new. In all their conquests, the Vorthak had never encountered weapons that used gravity as a force. Their ships were pulled out of formation and into carefully prepared kill zones. Captain Kyungmin led Earth's bomber wing as they approached one of these kill zones. His ships carried no energy weapons or plasma cannons. Instead, they were loaded with simple tungsten rods and magnetic railguns. "Remember," he told his pilots, "we're not trying to match their technology. We're using ours in ways they don't expect." The Vorthak ships in the kill zone were struggling against the gravity wells. They could not maneuver properly or coordinate their defenses. Kyungmin's bombers approached from above and below, firing their railguns in perfect synchronization. The tungsten rods moved so fast they were almost invisible. They struck the alien ships with the force of small nuclear weapons. The Vorthak shields, designed to stop energy attacks, were useless against simple metal moving at incredible speeds. 4 more Vorthak ships exploded. 3 others lost their engines and began to drift helplessly through space. Fleet Commander Zethmore was no longer confident about this conquest. His tactical display showed red symbols throughout his fleet. "Damaged ships, destroyed ships. Dead crews, how many have we lost?" he asked. 37 ships destroyed, his tactical officer reported. 51 more with significant damage. "And what about the humans?" 12 of their small attack craft. 2 orbital platforms. Zethmore could not believe what he was hearing. The humans were destroying his ships at a rate of almost 3 to 1. This was supposed to be an easy conquest, not a real battle. "Sir," his communications officer said, "we're receiving a transmission from the humans." "Put it on screen," Zethmore ordered. Admiral Minho's face appeared on the display. He looked calm and confident, like a man who was winning. "Commander Zethmore," Minho said, "I'm going to give you one chance to surrender. Turn your ships around and leave our solar system." "Never come back," Zethmore laughed, but it sounded forced. You think you're winning, human? We still have over 100 ships. You have nothing that can stop us, really? Mino said. Then let me show you something. The transmission changed to show a view of space near Jupiter. A Vorthak heavy cruiser was drifting dead in space, its hull cracked open like an egg. Human soldiers in spacesuits were moving through the alien ship's corridors. Major Sunhee led the boarding party through the damaged Vorthak cruiser. She had volunteered for this mission because Earth Command needed to learn about alien technology, but what she found inside the ship surprised her. The alien crew was dead, but not from the railgun attack that had crippled their ship. They had died when their own life support systems failed. The Vorthak had become so dependent on their advanced technology that they could not survive without it. This is incredible, she reported over her radio. These aliens have no backup systems. When their main computers died, everything stopped working. They couldn't even open doors manually. Sunhee and her team moved deeper into the ship. They found the alien weapons lockers, but the guns were useless without computer control. They found the engine room, but it was designed to be operated entirely by artificial intelligence. They've forgotten how to do anything by hand, Sunhee told her team. Everything is automated. Everything depends on their computers. This discovery changed everything. The Vorthak were not just technologically advanced. They were prisoners of their own technology. When humans destroyed their computer systems, the aliens became helpless. Dr. Eugen used this information to adjust her gravity weapons. Instead of trying to destroy the Vorthak ships completely, she focused on overloading their computer networks. The artificial gravity fields created electromagnetic pulses that fried alien electronics. One by one, Vorthak ships began to lose power. Their weapons stopped firing. Their engines shut down. Their life support systems failed. The mighty alien fleet became a collection of floating coffins. This is impossible, Zethmore said to himself as he watched more ships go dark on his tactical display. We are the Vorthak Empire. We have conquered 164 worlds. We cannot be defeated by primitives, but the evidence was right in front of him. The humans were not fighting like any enemy he had ever faced. They did not try to match Vorthak technology with their own advanced weapons. Instead, they used simple, crude, effective tactics that the aliens had no defense against. Captain Kyungmin's bombers made another attack run. This time, they targeted the alien command ships. Their railguns fired streams of metal that punched through alien hulls like they were made of paper. Lieutenant Hunwoo's stealth ships appeared from nowhere to launch surprise attacks. They struck fast and disappeared before the aliens could respond. Dr. Eugen's gravity weapons pulled more. Vorthak ships out of formation and into carefully prepared ambushes. The humans fought like they had been planning this battle for years. Every attack was coordinated. Every weapon was used exactly where it would do the most damage. They turned the entire solar system into one giant trap. Zethmore realized that he was not just losing this battle. He was being completely outfought by an enemy he had thought was primitive. The humans understood war in a way that the Vorthak had forgotten. Sir, his tactical officer said quietly, perhaps we should consider retreat. Zethmore looked at his display one more time. 60 ships destroyed, 40 more damaged and drifting. His perfect formation was scattered across millions of kilometers of space. For the first time in Vorthak military history, a fleet commander was thinking about running away from a fight, but retreat was not an option. Admiral Kethvar was already on his way with reinforcements. If Zethmore failed here, his own empire would probably execute him for cowardice. Send a message to Admiral Kethvar, he ordered. Tell him we need immediate reinforcements. The humans are more dangerous than we thought. As his message raced across space toward the approaching Vorthak reinforcements, Zethmore prepared for the next phase of the battle. He had learned that humans were not primitive. Now he needed to learn if the Vorthak Empire was strong enough to defeat them anyway. The war for Earth was just beginning. Admiral Kethvar arrived at the edge of the solar system with 300 more Vorthak ships. His black eyes burned with rage as he looked at the tactical display. Half of Zethmore's fleet was gone. The other half was scattered and damaged. How is this possible? He demanded. These are primitive creatures. They should have been crushed in hours. Fleet Commander Zethmore stood before his superior like a man facing execution. The humans are not what we expected, sir. Their weapons are crude but effective. Their tactics are unlike anything we have faced. Excuses, Kethvar snarled. We are the Vorthak Empire. We have never lost a battle. We will not start now. The Admiral turned to his weapon officers. Target the human moon. Show these creatures what happens when they resist us. Prepare the planet killer beam. Commander Jae-hyun watched the alien reinforcements from the bridge of Earth's most secret ship. The Prometheus was humanity's first attempt at building a truly advanced starship. It had taken 10 years to design and build, using theories that most scientists thought were impossible. New contacts on long-range sensors, his tactical officer reported. 300 ships all moving toward the main fleet. Jae-hyun nodded. Earth Command had been expecting this. The first battle was just a test. Now the real war was about to begin. Send a message to Dr. Dongwoo, he ordered. Tell him to activate the Seoul Defense Network. Far across the solar system, hidden weapons platforms began to come online. They had been built in secret over the past decade, placed in positions where no enemy would think to look. Some were hidden in asteroids. Others were disguised as communication satellites. A few were built into the surfaces of moons. Dr. Dongwoo supervised the activation from his command center on Europa. He was a weapons designer, but not the kind who built conventional arms. His specialty was turning theoretical physics into practical tools of war. Antimatter warheads are armed and ready, he reported. Quantum disruptors are online. Gravity bombs are charged to full power. Admiral Minho received the report at Earth Defense Command. Around him, his staff worked frantically to coordinate humanity's defenses. The tactical displays showed the true size of the alien fleet for the first time. Nearly 500 ships, each one capable of destroying a city. Are we really going to try to fight all of them? Colonel Soo-young asked. We don't have a choice, Minho replied. If we lose here, humanity becomes extinct. Every man, woman, and child on Earth will be dead or enslaved. He turned to address his entire command staff. Initiate Operation Extinct Dawn. All units, all weapons, everything we have. We're going to hit them with everything at once. Admiral Kethvar prepared to demonstrate the true power of the Vorthak Empire. The planet killer beam was the most powerful weapon in their arsenal. It could crack a moon in half or burn the atmosphere off a planet. Target the human moon, he ordered. When they see it destroyed, they will understand that resistance is futile. The massive weapon began to charge. Energy readings climbed higher and higher. The beam would fire in 60 seconds. But Captain Na-young was ready for them. Luna Station had been evacuated, but the moon itself was now one giant weapons platform. Hidden beneath the surface were quantum mirrors that could redirect energy attacks back at their source. Incoming energy beam, her sensor officer reported. It's huge, sir. More powerful than anything we've seen. Perfect, Na-young said calmly. The bigger they are, the harder they fall. Activate the mirrors. The Vorthak planet killer beam struck Luna's surface with enough energy to vaporize a mountain. But instead of destroying the moon, the beam was caught by the quantum mirrors and reflected back toward the alien fleet. The redirected energy tore through 3 Vorthak dreadnoughts like they were made of paper. The ships exploded in brilliant flashes that could be seen from Earth. Admiral Kethvar stared at his tactical display in shock. His most powerful weapon had been turned against him. The humans had somehow reflected the planet killer beam back at his own ships. How? He whispered. How is this possible? His science officer checked and rechecked his readings. Sir, they appear to have used some kind of quantum reflection system. We've never seen technology like this before. Never seen it? Kethvar repeated. Then how do these primitives have it? Commander Jae-hyun smiled as he watched the alien flagship recoil from their failed attack. Now it's our turn, he said. All weapons, open fire. The Prometheus revealed itself for the first time. The human ship was smaller than the alien vessels, but it was armed with weapons that should not have existed. Quantum torpedoes that ignored shields. Gravity cannons that bent space itself. Antimatter missiles that annihilated everything they touched. The first quantum torpedo struck a Vorthak heavy cruiser. The ship simply disappeared, erased from existence by weapons that violated the aliens' understanding of physics. Dr. Dongwoo activated the Seoul Defense Network from his hidden command center. All across the solar system, secret weapons platforms revealed themselves. They had been waiting for this moment for years. Antimatter warheads launched from hidden positions in the asteroid belt. Each one carried enough destructive power to level a city. When they struck the alien ships, the explosions were visible as brief new stars. Quantum disruptors fired beams that tore apart the molecular bonds of alien hulls. Entire sections of Vorthak ships simply came apart at the atomic level. Gravity bombs created localized black holes that pulled enemy vessels apart with tidal forces. The aliens' energy shields were useless against gravitational forces that bent reality itself. Fleet Commander Zethmore watched in horror as his reinforcements died around him. "Sir," he called to Admiral Kethvar, "we need to retreat. These humans have weapons we cannot fight." "Retreat?" Kethvar roared. "The Vorthak Empire does not retreat. We have conquered 164 worlds. We will not be stopped by one primitive planet." But even as he spoke, more Vorthak ships exploded around him. The humans were not just fighting back. They were winning. Commander Jae-hyun received a priority transmission from Earth Command. "Prometheus, this is Admiral Minho. We need you to board the alien flagship. We need to know how many more ships are coming." "Understood," Jae-hyun replied. Preparing boarding action, his ship moved closer to the massive Vorthak flagship. Unlike the aliens, human boarding parties did not depend on advanced technology. They used simple tools that worked even when computer systems failed. Major Sun-hee led the assault team through the alien ship's corridors. The Vorthak crew tried to stop them, but they had never fought humans in close combat. Their weapons were designed for ship-to-ship battles, not for fighting in narrow hallways. The humans used simple ballistic weapons and sharp-edged tools. When the alien computers failed, their weapons stopped working. But human guns needed no computers. Human knives needed no power source. Sun-hee and her team fought their way to the alien bridge. There they found something that changed everything. The ship's computer contained records of the Vorthak Empire's conquests. 164 worlds. Billions of dead civilians. Millions of sentient beings enslaved in work camps across the galaxy. "This is not just an invasion," Sun-hee reported to Earth Command. "This is genocide. They're not here to conquer us. They're here to wipe us out and steal our world." But the records revealed something else: the location of the alien empire's home worlds, the positions of their main fleets, the numbers and types of ships they could send to Earth. Admiral Minho received this intelligence and felt his blood run cold. The Vorthak Empire had over 10,000 ships. Even if Earth won this battle, more would come. Many more. "We can't just defend ourselves," he realized. "We have to attack them before they can send their main fleet." As the battle raged around Earth, both sides began to understand what they were really fighting. The Vorthak thought they were conquering another primitive world. The humans thought they were defending their home. But this was something bigger. This was a war between two completely different ways of thinking about the universe. The Vorthak believed in conquest and slavery. Humans believed in freedom and independence. Admiral Kethvar looked at his tactical display and saw the truth. His fleet was being destroyed by creatures he had thought were primitives. The humans did not just have advanced weapons. They had something more dangerous. They had the will to fight for their freedom, no matter what the cost. "All ships," he ordered, "prepare for final assault. If we cannot conquer this world, we will destroy it completely." But as he gave the order, more human weapons platforms revealed themselves. The entire solar system was one giant fortress, and the humans had been preparing for this war longer than anyone realized. The battle for Earth was about to reach its climax, and neither side was prepared for what would happen next. Admiral Minho stood before the largest tactical display in Earth Defense Command. The screen showed the entire solar system, with red and blue dots representing the final positions of both fleets. This was the moment everything had been leading to. "All units, this is Admiral Minho," he said into his communicator. "Operation Extinct Dawn is now active. I repeat, Operation Extinct Dawn is active. No alien ship leaves this system alive." Across space, human commanders received the order they had been waiting for. This was not just about defending Earth anymore. It was about making sure the Vorthak Empire never learned what had happened here. Commander Ji-hoon prepared his assault team for the most dangerous mission of the war. His job was to plant quantum charges inside the alien flagship and destroy it from within. It was a suicide mission and everyone knew it. Remember, he told his team, we're not just fighting for Earth. We're fighting for every species these aliens have enslaved, every world they've destroyed. This is our chance to stop them forever. His boarding craft launched from the Prometheus and raced toward the massive Vorthak flagship. The alien ship was 3 kilometers long and carried enough firepower to level continents. But it also carried Admiral Kethvar, and killing him was worth any sacrifice. The boarding craft punched through the alien hull like a bullet through armor. Ji-hoon and his team fought their way through corridors filled with desperate Vorthak soldiers. The aliens were brave, but they had never faced humans who knew they were going to die. Admiral Kethvar tried to coordinate his fleet's final attack, but the humans were everywhere. They appeared from hidden positions throughout the solar system. They struck from directions he had never considered. They used weapons that his science officers said were impossible. "Sir," his tactical officer reported, "we've lost contact with over 200 ships. Human forces are systematically destroying our entire fleet." "Impossible," Kethvar snarled. "We outnumber them 10 to 1. Not anymore." "Sir." Dr. Eugen activated her most powerful weapon from her laboratory on Mars. The artificial black hole generator was her greatest achievement, a device that could create a tiny singularity and control it with magnetic fields. "Warning all human ships," she broadcast, "clear the target zone immediately. Artificial black hole deployment in 60 seconds. The device activated in the center of the Vorthak formation. Space itself began to bend and twist around the tiny black hole. The alien ships were caught in gravitational forces that their technology could not resist. 3 Vorthak dreadnoughts were pulled into the black hole and stretched apart by tidal forces. Their hulls came apart like taffy as they disappeared into the event horizon. Other ships tried to escape, but found their engines useless against the artificial gravity well. Major Yuna watched the destruction from her command post on one of Saturn's moons. She had been waiting for this moment her entire military career. The chance to use humanity's most classified weapon against an enemy that truly deserved it. "Gravitational weapon is performing as expected," she reported. "Enemy fleet cohesion is completely broken. Requesting permission to activate secondary charges." "Permission granted," came Admiral Minho's voice. "Finish them." Yuna activated a network of smaller black hole generators hidden throughout the asteroid belt. The Vorthak fleet found itself caught in a web of gravitational forces that pulled their ships in different directions. Some were torn apart by competing gravity fields. Others were crushed as space itself compressed around them. Pilot Tae-hyung led his squadron on the most important intercept mission in human history. Admiral Kethvar had ordered his flagship to ram directly into Earth, sacrificing his ship and crew to destroy humanity's homeworld. It was the act of a desperate commander who knew he had already lost. "All fighters, this is Tae-hyung," he said over the radio. "We need to stop that ship before it reaches Earth. Full speed, all weapons." His fighters accelerated to incredible velocities, pushing their engines beyond safe limits. They were small compared to the alien flagship, but they were fast and determined. Each pilot knew that if they failed, Earth would die. The fighters struck the alien flagship from every direction. Their weapons could not penetrate its heavy armor, but they did not need to. Instead, they attached themselves to the ship's hull like parasites and detonated their fusion reactors. Tae-hyung's ship was the last to impact. He aimed directly for the flagship's main engine and triggered his reactor overload. The explosion tore through the alien ship's power systems and sent it spinning out of control. "Target neutralized," he reported with his final breath. "Earth is safe." Commander Ji-hoon and his team had reached the Vorthak flagship's reactor core. The alien power source was a massive fusion chamber that provided energy for the entire ship. Destroying it would kill thousands of alien crew members, but Ji-hoon felt no mercy for creatures who had enslaved entire civilizations. "Quantum charges are in position," he reported, "detonating in 10 seconds. The charges exploded simultaneously, causing a cascade failure in the alien reactor. The flagship's power systems overloaded, and the massive ship began to tear itself apart from within. Admiral Kethvar died when his bridge collapsed around him. His last sight was the tactical display showing the complete destruction of his fleet. 500 Vorthak ships had entered the solar system. Now only scattered debris remained. Captain Minji commanded the final phase of Operation Extinct Dawn. Her job was to hunt down any Vorthak ships that might try to escape the system. Earth's long-range sensors tracked every piece of debris larger than a fighter craft. Contact bearing 047, her sensor officer reported. Single ship attempting to reach the outer system. Intercept and destroy, Minji ordered. No survivors, no exceptions. Her ship was fast and well-armed. The fleeing Vorthak vessel was damaged and desperate. The chase lasted only minutes before Minji's weapons reduced the alien ship to floating scrap metal. All across the solar system, similar hunts were taking place. Human ships emerged from hidden positions to destroy the last remnants of the alien fleet. No Vorthak vessel was allowed to escape. No alien survivor was permitted to carry word of this battle back to their empire. Dr. Dongwu monitored the cleanup operation from his command center. His sensors showed the final destruction of the Vorthak fleet. Over 500 alien ships all destroyed. Millions of alien crew members all dead. This is Dr. Dongwu to all units, he broadcast. Enemy fleet elimination is complete. Repeat, all alien vessels have been destroyed. The solar system is secure. Admiral Minho received the final reports as he stood in Earth Defense Command. The tactical display now showed only blue dots. Human ships. Human stations. Human victory. Casualty report, he requested. 12,000 human military personnel killed in action, his aide reported. 47 ships destroyed. 18 orbital platforms lost, Minho nodded sadly. The price had been high, but it could have been much worse. If the aliens had succeeded, every human being would have died or been enslaved. And the aliens? He asked. Complete elimination. No survivors detected. For the first time in hours, Admiral Minho allowed himself to smile. Send a message to all commands. Tell them the Earth is safe. Tell them we won. 3 months later, Admiral Minho stood in the newly constructed memorial hall. Holographic displays showed the faces of every human who had died defending Earth. 12,000 heroes who had given their lives so that humanity could remain free. But the memorial was not just about remembering the dead. It was about preparing for the future. Earth's victory over the Vorthak fleet had changed everything. Humanity now knew they were not alone in the universe, and they had proven they could defend themselves against any threat. Dr. Yujin continued her research in the captured alien technology. The Vorthak ships contained information about hundreds of enslaved worlds and billions of suffering beings across the galaxy. Humanity had a choice to make about what to do with that knowledge. In Earth's orbital shipyards, construction had begun on a new class of starship. The Terra Invicta was humanity's first true interstellar battleship, designed to carry the fight to the enemy's home territory. Admiral Minho knew that the Vorthak Empire would eventually notice that one of their fleets had disappeared. When they did, they would send more ships to investigate. Earth needed to be ready for them. But more than that, humanity had a moral obligation to the other species under Vorthak control. The galaxy was full of enslaved worlds waiting for liberation. Earth had the power to free them, and Minho believed they had the duty to try. The Vorthak Empire has conquered 164 civilizations, he said to his senior staff during their final briefing. But they made one critical mistake. They attacked a species that considers warfare an art form. He looked out at the stars visible through the command center's windows. Somewhere out there, alien slavers were still oppressing innocent people, but not for much longer. Prepare the fleet, he ordered. We're going to teach the galaxy what freedom means. The Terra Invicta launched 6 months later, carrying the best weapons and the finest crew that humanity could provide. Its mission was simple: find the Vorthak Empire and destroy it completely. The aliens had come to Earth expecting an easy conquest. Instead, they had awakened something they could never have imagined: